Our journey this time is going to take us on the Alander Mountain Loop, where we're going to summit 3 mountains. We start in Massachusetts, but we're also going to cross into New York and Connecticut, so that's kind of neat. And it's going to be a overnight stay, so I'm looking forward to that. We're in late November, but it's actually quite nice out. Should hit the mid-50s today and stay a little above freezing tonight, so that's good. So we're going to be following the triangular blue blazes on this trail. At the trailhead there's a donation box, maps, as well as a registration. The information board at the trailhead had a few important warnings. One is that there are deer ticks in the area, so always got to be careful of them. Try to keep your pants tucked in if possible, and definitely, search your body at the end of your hike. 2 other notes are there are black bears in the area and rattlesnakes. I'm not sure exactly when they go into hibernation. Hopefully they're there already, but it's been a pretty warm week or so, so maybe not. I'm not sure. And the other warning that they have is more for this time of year. Shotgun season starts Monday. I'll be out of here on Sunday, but hopefully nobody decides to get an early start on their hunting. Alright, I know the stream doesn't look like much, but the last thing I want is wet everything come evening tonight when it's going to get just a bit above freezing, so got to be careful. This trail's full of all sorts of aquatic surprises today. Alright, so we're going to do this trail in a clockwise loop. So first we're going to take the Ashley Hill Trail, and then if all goes as planned, we'll end up coming out tomorrow at the Alander Mountain Trail. So let's get going. So at the Alander Mountain Trail / Ashley Hill Trail fork, that's the 0.8 mile mark, and from this point on we're going to start heading up, but the elevation gain should be somewhat gradual, so just a nice fall hike for the time being. We're still following the blue triangular markers. Love a good fall hike. It's nice and cool out, which helps keep the temperature down. And on this trail thus far, I'm seeing a lot of evergreen trees, which is nice because all the other trees are bare at this point. So they help the place still have, a little life, a little greenery, which is always nice. Alright, so there's a designated camping area, which we're not going to use today. It's only about a total of 1.5 miles in from the start of the trail, which is great if that's all you're looking to do. We're going to keep going on the Ashley Trail, but the camping area trail is actually accessible from both the Ashley Trail and the Alander Mountain Trail. So you can go either way, and it's right in the middle. So that's nice if you're, just looking to hike in a little bit with the kids or something instead of camp. But we're going to camp way further in. So let's get going. So the incline here isn't too bad. It's really just a moderately gentle grade, but I'm still starting to sweat. I weighed, all my gear and everything and equipment and supplies this morning, and it came out to just about 60 pounds. So even this moderate grade and only a light fall shirt on is still causing me to sweat. But I guess it was bound to happen. I did plan ahead though, and I have some couple layers of clothing for tonight to keep me warm and dry. I did forget my coat though, which hopefully that works out alright. I think I'll still be warm enough. Really beautiful little area we're in here right now. We're walking right beside the really nice stream, and you can hear it in the background. It's just really nice. I'm really glad I took the time to come out here today and enjoy this hike, and tomorrow too, no doubt. Life can be pretty crazy. You can probably relate. Always something to do, but it's important we take some time out for some exercise and just to relax, enjoy the beauty and design of nature. It's a good feeling to be out here. Wow, another little stream we got to cross. Like I said though, there's been a lot of rain this week, so it's probably similar to spring melt conditions right now. Alright, so we just keep following the Ashley Hill Trail, which is going to take us to what'll be our highest peak of the weekend, to Mt Frissell. What's your favorite thing about hiking? I think my favorite thing is just getting away from everything, not having to worry about any of life concerns except for making it to the top of that hill or mountain and enjoying a nice meal when you get there, or when you're done for the day, or whatever it is. Right, so we're coming up on the Massachusetts/New York stone marker, and what that means is we're near the Mt Frissell Red Trail. So there's the marker. You'll see it says New York and Mass, as well as the date. So let's get going, because I'm actually losing a lot of daylight. I got off to a late start, unfortunately, as usual. Getting out of bed stuff. And as promised, about 30 seconds past the state marker is the red trail, so we just want to take a left and follow the red trail up Mt Frissell. And this is where we're going to get into a somewhat steep ascent, but it's not too bad because I think it's only about 500 feet or so further up from where we are. The hill here kind of goes up in a somewhat step-like fashion, which is kind of handy, so you can get some good footing. Alright, so we made it to the top of Mt Frissell, as indicated by this little stone pyramid, and this is it. But you can't actually see much from here because we're surrounded by nothing but trees. So we'll go back down to the tri-state marker where you can actually see a bit from there. So let's go. Alright, so this is the tri-state marker, which indicates obviously where Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New York all converge. Now, why the tri-state marker has only a pile of rocks and the New York, Massachusetts markers have, you know, pillars, I don't know, kind of crazy, but it's the way it is. But from here, which is actually the highest point in Connecticut, you got a better view than at the peak because we're not totally enshrined by trees. So have a look. So we're on our way back down to the primary trail. We're just going back out the same way we came in. I don't think I'm gonna have a chance to climb Brace Mountain today, even though it's not that much of a climb. But the sun's going down, it's starting to cool off, and I don't really know where I'm gonna put up camp, so I'll probably just keep on going. Put up camp at the first good spot, probably. Sun's sets pretty early in late November. So I just slipped right over here. The ground's still a little wet and it's got some leaves on it. And going down the hill, the big descent back down to the main trail, thankfully, you know, the backpack totally cushioned my fall because I landed, you know, feet went straight out from under me. But I really kind of hate going down these steep, I don't mind going up steep stuff, but going down when it's steep, it can be a little dangerous. So you're gonna have to be careful going back down, especially with all the leaves and some of the rocks still being a little bit wet. Alright, so I'm back on the blue trail. The sun has set behind the mountains, so already in dusk. So pretty much the first place I find that's good for my tent is where I'm going to be. I made it back to the intersection of the red and blue trail, but what we do is we continue following the red trail, which crosses the blue trail, and this will take us over to the South Taconic Trail, which is going to be our way out tomorrow. But hopefully today it's going to be a place where we find a camping spot real quick. I hope. We'll see. I got my camp set up. I got changed into some dry clothes, put on my toque, because again it's going to get pretty cold tonight. I got some water boiling here, and I'm kind of on a pretty rocky area. There's a little bit of moss, so I'm hoping I'll be able to find a comfortable spot, but there's a lot of small rocks. So, you know, but I ran out of time, so it wasn't really like I had a lot of options. Thankfully, my little headlamp was invaluable, and my little crank flashlight, huge help. In fact, of course, that's how you're seeing me now, is with that. So, I'm gonna have some dinner, and maybe do a little bit of reading or something like that. So I didn't get as far as I had hoped to today, but I had a good time anyway. We made it up to the top, Mt Frissell, and now I'm just looking forward to some dinner. So hopefully that'll boil up quickly. Oh, and there's no stars out tonight, otherwise I was hoping to show you a beautiful starry sky, but only clouds. Maybe next time. Alright, good morning. Start off my day here warming up a bit. Some nice warm noodles and a little bit of coffee. The night was okay. The sleeping bag kept me warm, but there were some wet spots, I guess, on what I was sleeping on because I was in such a haste to just pick anywhere. I didn't have time to properly check it out. So it was rocky, lots of small rocks and big rocks. And I got actually a little bit of wet because I guess there were some pockets of water under where I put up my tent. But all in all, I stayed pretty warm, so that was good. And I'm just gonna have some breakfast, and then we're gonna head out. Sure is nice to have something warm in a cool morning like this. Alright, so I took my little propane canister off of its burner and just started leaking out gas. I put it back on and it leaked again, so I guess the seal broke. Not sure what the story with that is, but won't be using that canister again, obviously. I guess that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're on a kind of longer multi-day tour. If you only have one can that you're really relying on, then if it for some reason the seal on it goes during the first day or first morning or whatever, then you might kind of be in trouble. So always good to be prepared to make a fire if you need to have that. Thought it was interesting. Alright, so this is where I was camping. We got rocks kind of all over. There is moss, but again the rocks are kind of interspersed all between them, so that made it a little bit rocky. And the moss is definitely damp and wet, so that was coming through the tent a bit and into my sleeping bag when I was in the wrong spots. But it wasn't that bad. I did stay warm. I kept waking up throughout the night because it was pretty uncomfortable kind of being wedged in between the rocks and in ways that wasn't making more water come in, but I was being contorted. So the important part though was that I was moderately warm, so I wasn't freezing, which was really good because that would have made it really miserable had I been freezing. But we've cleaned up the whole campsite. We didn't make a fire, so there's no we're not leaving anything behind. So let's get on our way. I'm not going to do the Brace Mountain because I'm way behind schedule. I was assuming I'd be a third or halfway down the South Taconic Trail when I set up camp. So I'm going to skip Brace Mountain, but I am going to do Alander Mountain. Alright, so over off behind me is Brace Mountain. So we'd head south on the South Taconic Trail if we're going to go up there. It's not that far. It's only 0.4 miles from here, and it's not that much of an elevation gain from where we are now. But like I said, due to timing and just a lot of hunting activity in the area, I'm going to skip it this time. But from what I can see, it looks like it might be a pretty cool view from up there. So I definitely encourage you to check it out if you're in the area. But we're going to head north on the South Taconic Trail and hopefully get a nice view of Alander Mountain. The view from the ridgeline near Brace Mountain. So we're following the white blazes along the South Taconic Trail now. I'm getting underway early in the morning. It helps get out that little bit of chill you usually have when you wake up. Again, it wasn't too bad this morning, but just a good good early start after a nice warm breakfast and you feel 100%. At least I do. You got a nice clear mind and a renewed eagerness. So that's nice and fun. No bear, no deer, no shoot when I'm hiking around hunting season. I try to make some, either, talk to someone, talk to the camera, whatever. If you're with a buddy, talk to them. Just to, let people know that the sound they're hearing rustling through the bush is not a deer or a moose or bear or whatever they're looking to shoot. In this case, hunting is allowed right on the trail, at least according to the sign. They could be like around a corner 50 feet from me and hear rustling in the bush, and if they're not careful to look and see what they're shooting first, accidents could happen. So making noises, talking or whatever, whistling, something that lets people know that you're not a bear or moose. Just didn't make it that far yesterday, although this is right around where I was thinking I was going to camp. So had I gotten up a little bit earlier, pulled myself out of bed, I probably would have made it here. Probably an important lesson there. Don't delay. Alright, I'm about halfway up the South Taconic trail, and there's no stream that's marked on the map, so maybe this is just seasonal. So I've made it to the Blue Trail where it intersects the South Taconic Trail. I can take this up to Alander Mountain, which is not the primary trail, but you can go this way. It kind of cuts through the bush for a while. Or I could continue on the White Trail, which is the South Taconic Trail, and take it down. It's going to go, it seems like, down about another 250 feet. There's going to be a cabin down there, apparently, according to my guide. And then it'll eventually swing back around and you can catch the Blue Trail on the other side of Alander Mountain. I think I'm going to take this trail because I'm not too interested in the cabin that's down there. I'm not staying the night. I've already done that. I'm much more inclined to take the Blue Trail, which I believe takes me right up to Alander Mountain. So let's go and see how it looks. So the Blue Trail looks to be a little bit rough. I guess that's why the White Trail is the primary one, probably the one that's really maintained well. There's a lot of downed trees, but it's so far not impassable or anything, but it is rough. So in case you're gonna go this way as well, be prepared for a rough trail. But still going this way. Up we go. So far it's been a moderate but steady and significant incline. I've stripped down to just a t-shirt to keep the sweating down. Supposed to be some nice sweeping views at the top of Alander Mountain. And here we have something that looks like it might be an insect nest. I'm not really sure, but if it's bee, hornets, wasps, whatever, I'm sure they're all sleeping or dead by now. So not a concern for me. Alright, a word of caution. caution if you're on this blue trail. The markers are pretty faint in a lot of places, including turn areas. So if you're coming up here this way, keep a real sharp lookout for the markers, because they are frequent, but they're not always very visible. Alright, we're getting close to the top of Mount Alander. Have a look. Alright, so I reached what I think is the summit. It looks to be the highest area around, so I'm assuming this is it. Alright, so we're still continuing along the blue trail. There's kind of like a false summit up top there. We're going to continue along west on the blue trail, but behind me is actually the cabin. I thought there was only one down, on the white trail, the main trail that went around, but it looks like there's also one up here, or maybe I was just wrong and there is none down there. But while we're up here, let's have a look at it in case you're interested in dropping by. Wow, cool place. It's got a wood stove, some bunks, and some place to put your gear. Very cool. Be a nice place to stay in the winter. And it looks like somebody's here now because there's some stuff. So I don't want to stay too long, but very cool place. Alright, so I saw this sign, was a little confused at first, but looking at my map, it looks like we probably need the South Taconic Trail north, which would be off to my right. So we'll head over there and we should be good. Alright, so I appear to be heading back down the mountain at this point. I didn't see a marked peak. Maybe I went by it and didn't notice it. The view from where I am right now isn't that great. So the best view is probably that false peak that I showed you a little ways back. Well, here's a beautiful view on our way down. Alright, so I'm just continuing to follow the white trail down very cautiously because I don't want to slip. But hopefully I'm going the right way. Looks like it. Pretty much heading in a northish direction, which seems good. Ow, I almost poked my eye. So I think we're going the right way. Alright, so remember back at that sign where I said I was a bit confused, but I looked at the map and I think I'm supposed to go Taconic North? Well, I was completely wrong. I've gone about a mile this way now, and it occurs to me that it's only supposed to be about 0.2 miles back to the main trail, which obviously I'm not on. And the other one said, to the Mass Park office or something like that, which of course is where the trail started. So why it didn't occur to me that that's obviously the way I have to go, I don't know. Too bad for me. So we have to go back up the mountain. So for anyone who was disappointed that I didn't go up Brace Mountain, I'm gonna do Alander twice. I just can't believe I didn't figure out the right way to go with that sign. It was really clear, in all fairness. But with the rocks and the water and, me contorting my body all night, I really didn't sleep that much, so I guess I'm just not thinking that straight. But up we go. Here's a familiar sight, our lovely sign. Just for kicks this time. Let's go the way I'm supposed to. How about that? Fun, fun, fun. Alright, so with the help of a passing hiker, I figured out where I went wrong. The sign behind me, the one that says, you know, the peak of the Alander Mountain Trail and whatnot that way. So I guess I did cross the summit. I didn't see a marker. You're not supposed to go that way to get out of here. It's not really very clear. What you want to do when you see that sign is just walk past the cabin, and that's apparently the way back to the headquarters and back to the parking lot. So at least we know where we're going for sure now, and let's go. Alright, so run out of water, which is okay because I'm going downhill. You know, it's all downhill from here. So I probably chose my water amount well. What I had was I got a 3-liter pack in my backpack, and I brought in a 1-liter bottle of water as well as a 750 milliliter bottle. I filled up the 1-liter bottle and used it for cooking in the evening and morning. So if you add it all up, I had just under 6 liters. Of course it's fall and not that hot, but had I not gone the wrong way on the Alander Mountain Trail there, would have been just perfect. And you know, it's just short of perfect now, but still fine. No more big climbs to do. So this is good. And now all I have to do is look forward to getting out here and finding the biggest burger I can. I can taste it already. Passing by a small stream right now, and filled up my water bottles just to be on the safe side. I know, I'm less than 3 miles from the parking lot right now, and like, when are you going to use it? You don't have time to purify it or anything. But what if I get lost again? Unfortunately, I seem to do that a lot. So better safe than sorry. Grab some water now, just in case I need it later. But hopefully not. Alright, so right along the trail there's this nice big open area. There's a running stream right down there which probably has water most, if not all year round. And you know, there's some logs, so it looks like people probably camp here sometimes because it's a nice place to camp. It might be a really good alternative if the primary campsites, which are only about half a mile from here, are full. You know, you might want to consider just coming up this way, because this would make a really nice camp. So, something to think about. We're still on the blue trail. Alright, so we got a big raging river here to cross. I'm not going to show you, you know, me playing hopscotch across it because I'm just too tired. I'm ready to go home. Alright, so just a little bit past the river crossing, we're back at the signpost where we meet the Ashley Hill Trail again, which means we're really close to the parking lot, so that's great news. Alright, so this is kind of neat. This is like a huge mushroom, I think. If you look up here, you can see that it looks like a mushroom on the inside, so I'm assuming that this is indeed a mushroom. But it's one massive mushroom. Does anyone have like 50 eggs so we could make like a big omelet? Okay, I have no idea. It could be poisonous, but it's kind of neat. It's huge. We've reached the end of our journey for today. hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video or any of my other ones, please do me one favor and let your friends know about the site, hctrails.com. If you thought anything could use improvement or you just had anything to say, at the bottom of the page you can leave me a comment and I'll definitely respond back. See you next time.